Hey, it's Lee for On Your Marks Wrestling, and I'm here with a 205 Live review for May 22nd, 2018. We start the show off with a video package of mostly Hideo Itami and his feud with Akira Tozawa, and it's Tommy just saying that he never needed Tozawa. We then go to a promo from Drew Gulak saying that he'll keep tapping out these high flyers to prove that his way of mat wrestling is the best. We get a match between Drew Gulak and Gran Metalik. Before the match starts, we get Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick who come out to do commentary. They hand drawings to the announcers, but they don't really go much further with that. Some cool moves from the match. There's a springboard moonsault to the outside by Gran Metalik. Looked really, really cool. Then he gets a springboard splash for a near fall. Gulak hits a big lariat, and he gets a 2 count out of that. Metalik then kind of walks the ropes almost halfway down the ropes to deliver a drop kick to Gulak. It looked pretty cool. At the end of the match, Metalik goes for a second rope springboard moonsault, but Gulak gets his feet up, and then he gets the Gulak on Metalik for the tap out win. Decent match. It was okay. We get a little Buddy Murphy video promo. He talks about Alexander not being used to facing guys that are bigger than him or stronger than him at 205 Live, which Murphy believes he is. Interesting. Then we get a match between TJP and Christopher Guy, who seems like a jobber. I wrote that Guy has the most generic looking color getup ever. It's basically 3 primary colors. Each piece of clothing is a different color. It looks kind of horrible. There's a lot of talk about a disgruntled tweet that TJP sent out asking Paige for time on their brand because he's not getting it at 205 Live. And we see Drake Maverick in backstage watching the match and kind of going like this. So clearly he doesn't like TJP. Guy gets a little run in the middle of this match. He hits a really nice springboard sunset flip. They don't usually let the jobber guys hit such a big move, so that looked cool. But then TJP kind of regains the advantage. He sets up a submission where it's like a leg lock thing, and then he grabs the arms, and it looks like he's going to do a submission, but instead he just stomps Guy into the mat. It looked pretty brutal, and then he hits the detonation kick, and he gets the win that way. Dasha interviews TJP, who says that he was the first champion of 205 of the cruiserweights. He's the best 205 Live champ ever. Says he's the best technical wrestler in the world. Hard to argue with that. He's actually very good. And he says he single-handedly carried the brand. That never happened, but still, he's just boasting about himself. That's fine. And then he says that if Guy is the type of opponent that 205 Live can hand him, then he knows where he stands at 205 Live. This was probably the best TJP promo I've ever heard. He didn't use catchphrases or anything like that. He sounded angry, high on himself. Exactly what a bad guy should be. I thought it was a really, really good promo. I was quite impressed because that's kind of his biggest weakness. He's a great technical wrestler. Then we have a sit-down interview between Vic Joseph and Cedric Alexander. Alexander says he feels no pressure going into his match versus Buddy Murphy. Says that he also had to cut weight to make 205 Live, so it's not like Murphy's that much bigger than him. Alexander's a big guy. And then he basically kind of breaks out his catchphrase of, "It's the age of Alexander." Haven't heard that one yet. Dasha interviews Tozawa before his match. Says he respected Itami, called him a legend. Says that if Itami didn't like him as a partner, he's going to hate him as an opponent. Fine. Tozawa actually speaks very good English. So that's an asset for him. Could be good moving forward. So then we get the match. Tozawa dominates early after an initial kind of chop fest where they just kept chopping each other in chest. Mustn't have been a pleasant night for them. Itami with a second rope knee to the back of Tozawa's head, who's kind of leaning into the ring. That looked pretty brutal. There's a missile drop kick by Tozawa. Itami does a kind of, it looks like tornado DDT. But instead he jumps to the outside and just lays Tozawa's neck on the ropes. And then he hits a top rope clothesline and gets a near fall out of it. Tozawa climbs for his finisher, but Itami lands a top rope Falcon Arrow, which was pretty cool. Doesn't get the pin though. He then hits a running kick and also gets a 2 count out of it. Tozawa gets an octopus submission on Tommy, who escapes it, but then he also gets a suicide dive by Tozawa, which is one of the best suicide dives in wrestling, in my opinion at least. Then Tozawa misses his X marks the spot, which is basically just his kind of falling cannonball senton. There are 2 delayed drop kicks by Tommy in the corner, and then he hits his kind of intricate knee finisher. It has a really weird lead up to it, but it's essentially a detonation knee. And he gets the win that way. It's the right person to win. Tommy's being a good bad guy, just keeps saying respect me to the crowd. He's doing what he should be doing. Match was pretty good. Not out of this world. There have been better matches on 205 Live. But Tommy's not really that kind of cruiserweight fighter guy, jumping all over the place. But some of the moves looked brutal. It was good. Overall, this episode I thought was pretty darn good. I didn't love, but I liked Drew Gulak versus Grand Metalik. I really liked TJP's promo, even though his match didn't mean all that much. And the final match was pretty decent. Everything got forwarded properly. Good storytelling. I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8 out of 10. Not the best episode ever, but very, very solid. Completely watchable. The 1 hour length also helps that. But yeah, I liked it. All right. Thanks for watching.